Kurur Amma was born as Dhatri Kutti in Kerala to a pious Namputhri couple in 5070 CE. She was very attached to Lord Shri Krishna from a very young age. Once, an enlightened yogi happened to visit her father's house when she was still a young maiden, yet to be married. As was customary, the yogi was welcomed with due respect and was served a nice meal for lunch along with paisam. The yogi tasted the paisam and said to the Namputhri, "This paisam must have been offered to Lord Shri Krishna, which is why it is so tasty. Who made this paisam? I want to see the person who made this." Namputri was pleased and said, "Yes, Swami, this paisam was made by my daughter, Dhatri Kutti. But she is a young maiden, and so Namputri was hesitant, as it was not the practice for young girls to meet men who were strangers. It is okay, please bring her. She is a blessed soul, and I want to see her. And there is nothing wrong," said the yogi. When he saw the shy Dhatri Kutti, who looked so saintly, he asked her what she desired. Dhatri, without batting an eyelid, replied that she wished to see the Lord of Vrindavan and his flute always. The yogi said, "Well, my girl, I will teach you a mantra, which if you chant with sincerity and devotion, your wish shall be fulfilled." He went on to teach her the Venugopal mantra, which she received with great devotion and chanted faithfully. In due course of time, she was married to the Namputhri Pad of the Kurur Mana family, which was near Venjilazari, and she regularly worshipped with utmost devotion the deity Venugopal of the other temple near her house. Guruvayur was slightly farther away, and she visited Guruvayur also whenever she could, and prayed to Lord Guruvayurappan, who was none other than Krishna. Shortly afterward, when she was in the prime of her youth, she was widowed. She had no children. Now Venugopal was her sole refuge. She, being the eldest daughter-in-law of the Kurur Mana, came to be known as the Kurur Amma, and she considered herself Amma, mother, to the little Venugopal. The Namputhri community in those days did not allow widows to participate in any social activities. Their primary engagement was working in the kitchen and singing. She did not have anything to own. After her kitchen work, she used to sit and meditate on the Lord. Very often she went on fasting. Gradually her mind was purified, and she was led her to a new world. She had no material emotions, but only pure love for the Lord. She looked upon others as her own children. Like every Krishna Bhakta, she too had a detached attitude towards life. Years rolled by, and age caught up with Kurur Amma. Her detached attitude toward life was misunderstood by her husband's relatives, who began ridiculing her, finding fault with everything she does. Slowly, all the other family members of the Kurur Mana had migrated to other places, and she was left alone in that big house with no help whatsoever. Still, she did not give up her routine of visiting the Venugopal temple and Guruvayur. Once it so happened that Kurur Amma had gone to Guruvayur to have darshan of her Krishna, and that day it was raining heavily. In those days, people had to walk, and Amma had to go a long distance to reach her home. It was evening, and as the rain reduced to a drizzle, Kurur Amma set out to walk back to her home. The sun had set, and Amma, due to old age, darkness, and anxiety, missed the correct route and went to the deep, dense jungle. After going some distance, she heard the noises of wild animals. It was then she realized that she had lost her way. Not knowing what to do, she started calling Krishna. Suddenly, she heard the sound of anklets nearby, and she turned around. A small boy who looked like a cowherd appeared. "Amma, why are you going into the deep jungle?" he asked her. "I lost my way, Unni," she said. Unni is the word in Malayalam denoting small boy. Come, I will show you the way, said Unni, and took her hand, and slowly both of them walked back to the Kurur Mana. Amma was so overwhelmed with gratitude and wanted to gift him something, but the boy refused. When Amma insisted, Unni said with a shy smile, Amma, my loincloth has become wet due to the rain, and I need a dry cloth. Kurur Amma tore a piece of cloth from her red sari and gave it to Unni. The lad ran out of the house and vanished. The next day, Amma again went to the Guruvayu temple for the morning darshan, which is called Nirmalayam. When the door of the temple opened, Guru Vayurappan was dazzling in all the jewels and finery with which he had been draped the previous evening. But what shocked everyone was that a piece of a used sari was on the Lord. Kurur Amma recognized the red cloth. Indeed, it was a piece of her sari which she had given to the boy the previous day. She was in tears when she realized Krishna had come as Unni and led her home. A few more years passed, and Kurur Amma had aged even more. She was not able to walk long distance or go to the temple. She found it difficult to do even small chores and wished for some company. Kurur Amma called the Lord, "O my Balgopal, I have nobody but you. So be with me always. Do not leave me as you did with Yashoda." The next day itself, Bhagwan appeared as the Brahman kid, Unni, in front of Kurur Amma. Due to his Yog Maya, she could not recognize him as Bhagwan. "I don't have a place to stay, Amma," said the boy. "May I stay with you?" Kurur Amma smiled sadly and said, "Unni, I am not able to do my own chores and I have grown very old. How will I look after you?" The boy replied, "Amma, you need not look after me. I will look after you, Amma." To childless Kurur Amma, the Lord served as her son. He lived with her, played with her, and even made her angry with his childhood mischiefs. He helped her with all household chores as a dutiful son does for his beloved mother. After Unni's arrival, Kurur Amma lived in great joy. Now, in the same period, there lived a sannyasi by the name Vilvamangalam Swamiyar, who was also a devotee of Shri Krishna, having been initiated by the same yogi who gave the mantra to Kurur Amma. Swamiyar was lucky, for Krishna played with and teased him many a time, showing his true form to Swamiyar's eyes. One day, Kurur Amma invited Vilvamangalam Swamiyar to her house for bhiksha. The Swamiyar was supposed to go to Kurur Manna, perform puja for Lord Krishna, and accept the food offered by Kurur Amma. On the same day, another family from Chemmangat Mana, also called Vilvamangalam Swamiyar, to their house for bhiksha. Kurur Amma came to know of this and was worried, but Unni consoled her and said with great confidence that Swamiyar would certainly come to their house. Unni also made all the arrangements for the puja. Although he had promised Kurur Amma that he would come to her house, Swamiyar changed his mind at the last moment and asked his group to move with him to Chemmangat Mana for bhiksha. The protocol was that before the Swamiyar left for any place, a conch would be blown by a person of the entourage, and only then would he start. Now, when the conch was attempted to be blown, no sound emanated from it. Different people tried to blow the conch, but to no avail. Then the Swamiyar realized that it was because he was breaking his promise made to Kurur Amma. He told his disciples to change direction and move towards Kurur Amma's house. And then when the conch was blown, sound emanated from the conch. Now Swamiyar went to Kurur Manna to be welcomed by a small boy who washed his feet and led him and his group in. The Swamiyar went inside the puja room to find a beautifully decorated altar and all the requirements perfectly fulfilled. Swamiyar looked upon questioningly at Kurur Amma as he wondered how she could have done such elaborate arrangements at this age. And Amma smilingly indicated that Unni had done all the arrangements. Swamiyar sat down to perform puja and started offering flowers at the feet of the deity of Krishna, which was kept on a pedestal. To his shock, the flowers went and fell at the feet of Unni, who was standing nearby. One of the Swamiyar's disciples cheated Unni and told him to move further away. Still, the flowers fell near Unni's feet, leaving Swamiyar puzzled. Krishna then decided not to tease Swamiyar anymore. After the puja was over, Swamiyar was to be offered bhiksha, and traditionally the protocol was that rice should be served by a married man of the household where the bhiksha was offered. As customary, Brahman ladies never spoke to anyone other than their husband, and hence asked Unni to welcome the Swamiyar when he sat down to eat. Unni came and served the rice, and the Swamiyar got really angry. Is there no grahastha belonging to this household? Don't you know that bhiksha to a sannyasi is to be done by a grahastha and not a small boy? He asked. Unni curled his lips and gave a sarcastic smile. Triloki grahasthaya Vishnu namaste, he chanted. This verse meant, I pay obeisance to that Vishnu, the householder of the universe. Swamiyar was taken aback. Thinking about Lord Krishna, he looked at Unni. Unni revealed his true form to Swamiyar but warned him not to tell Kurur Amma. One day when Amma was getting the puffed rice ready, the naughty Unni Krishnan mixed the puffed rice with husk. Amma disciplined him. She told him not to touch those things because they are for offerings to the Lord, but Unni did not seem to care. He did the same again and again. Amma couldn't bear any more, so she put him in a big pot and closed it with another pot, which was used for frying rice. Krishna was making noises from inside the pots, and after a few minutes the noise stopped. Then Amma got worried and looked in and saw Unni lying very tired. She felt bad and took him out and started to pamper him. He suddenly got up, mixed the rice and husk again, which Amma had kept separated, and ran away quickly. Meanwhile, Vilvamangalam Swamiyar, in his house, was waiting for the Lord to come to have his darshan. But the Lord was delayed, and Swamiyar was becoming desperate. Then suddenly, to his surprise, he saw the Lord running towards him. His body was fully smeared with charcoal powder. To the confused Swamiyar, the Lord explained in detail what really had happened to him. With childlike simplicity, he told, Kurur Amma put me in a pot and closed it with another pot, which is usually used to fry rice. That is why my whole body became dirty with charcoal, and that is the reason for my late arrival. Vilvamangalam Swamiyar thought to himself, what? The Bhagwan whose darshan even the great sages consider a rare thing is here locked by a lady? His realization of Kurur Amma's spiritual position grew tremendously. Once a Brahman was suffering from severe stomach pain. He tried all medicines, tantric methods and astrology, but couldn't get rid of his stomach ache. So one friend told him about Vilvamangalam Swamiyar, who could be contacted to at the Guruvayur temple. Swamiyar consulted Guru Vayurappan about the cause of the illness, and the Lord replied that he was suffering due to sins of the past lives. Swamiyar interpreted the Lord's answer to mean that his suffering was incurable and told the Brahman so. Dejected with his miserable life, the Brahman unknowingly reached the house of Kurur Amma. Kurur Amma thought that this Brahman was hungry probably and hence offered him food. But the old Brahman told her that he was suffering from stomach ache and could not eat anything. He also told her that he had gone to Vilvamangalam Swamiyar and even he could not cure him. Kurur Amma told him to pray to Lord Guru Vayurappan, who is Dhanvantara Murti, and take a bath in the temple tank and then come for food to her place. Accordingly, the old Brahman went, thinking of Lord Guru Vayurappan in his mind. He took a bath in the temple pond and went to Kurur Amma's place, from where he took food. Kurur Amma told him to always perform Ram Tarak and Shri Krishna Jap. His stomach ache disappeared. This news reached Vilvamangalam Swamiyar's ears, who asked Lord Guru Vayurappan as to why he did not tell him about it, for which the Lord told him that he asked only to know the cause of the pain, but not the remedy. In the year AD 1640, Kurur Amma asked Bhagwan to take her to his abode, and Bhakta Vatsalan immediately took her to Vaikuntha. After Kurur Amma's disappearance, without leaving even her mortal remains, her abandoned home also disintegrated. However, the area containing Bhagwan Krishna's divine presence remained. Under divine protection for nearly 360 years, it was recently consecrated as a Kurur Amma Shri Krishna temple.